Pastor Bobby Butler from Houston, Texas, and I'm actually a guest for my lovely wife over there. It's our first time being here. And
let's give them a hand for first time.
I basically want to get an understanding of Tarumah concerning if you pastor the church and how is you asking us to give our tithing to you and the priest offering.
Okay.
How's that concept? I want to get an understanding more clear.
So we have pastors among us that tithe, like Larry Reed is a pastor. So, Larry, why don't you tell them how you tithe? You pastor the church. Because see, most pastors don't tithe. A matter of fact, when you look at Malachi chapter 3, get Malachi chapter 3 and verse number 1. When you look at Malachi 3, and I'm pulling it up in the back there. When you look at Malachi chapter 3, this here, Malachi 3, need a mic. Malachi 3 really was not written to saints. We read it for the church folks. And with Malachi chapter 3, and what verse should we? Go read verse 1 here.
Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord, whom ye seek, shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts. But who may abide in the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire and fuller's soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. And he shall purify the sons of Levi.
Shall purify who?
The sons of Levi.
The sons of Levi. These are people that's receiving the tithe. The sons of Levi and what?
And purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Lord an offering in righteousness.
So watch this. Now, this here, Pastor Bob, is probably going to cook your goose. And the rest of you pastors that are in here, because my goose got cooked about 3 years ago. People don't pay tithes. The people give, the people bring the tithe. Yes. It's the priest that pays it. So many of you, your pastors have never paid your tithe, although you gave it.
That's it.
Some of you are giving in churches, they don't even know how to pay it. So your tithes have never got paid. It never registered in heaven that it was ever paid because the pastor used it and never paid it. It's got to go up and out.
That's good.
And so, how you tithe?
The way that I do it, since everything comes into the MBN network, it's my 501c3. It actually was my actual organization, but we created a digital wing, so that's where you get the show and all the other shows. Larry Live, just the known show. So everything that comes in, whether it's a Cash App, Venmo, Google Pay, text to give, or just from the website, it all goes to the MBN network. And so everything that comes into there before I get the money, anything that comes in, I take what I have been doing prior to this very moment when I find out what we're doing is wrong. 2.5% I immediately send to my supervisor, priest, and then I send the other 10%. I would take an additional 10%. You know, I would take that, and then I take the first 10%, and I give it to Zoe. And the reason why I give it to Zoe is because I don't church I trust when it comes to how they handle their business, because I can't. And so and then the next 10% I divide it by 3 on my calculator, and I give one part of it to the working poor, and it just happened to be my mom and my dad. I give it straight to them. And I like the concept of whenever I give to my supervising priest, give to God, I give to the people through which God brought me into the earth. Then the next thing I do is my retirement and also my pilgrimage. And I started this, he started in March, I started in June. So,
And have you been blessed since then?
man, I'm going to tell you, I was already blessed. From obeying God and walking away from 20 years of pastor to do this. But when I started that, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, which I had never done. We were at Prophecology at Zoe, the last week of May. And I got there by the skin of my teeth. And I said, God done all the advertising for us. I knew, so we were going to give me a check for doing my job. Praise God. But even with that, it won't good. And I said, I gotta move from making what I was making every month. I need a double. So he said, give a tithe off for what you want to make. But I didn't have $2,000, I only had $1,000. So I gave all of it. And when I did, by the time I got back home, within 48 hours, I had a contract for $12,000. And so from that month to this one, I have doubled it and so much triple what I want to make every month since.
It almost starts to feel like magic.
It does, Bishop.
I'm afraid to even use the word because it's a supernatural, but it is like it just starts to flow in your money.
That's true.
I'm not making this up. I'm just telling you what works. So we have a person, Prophet Cynthia, she here, Cynthia Clark.
I do have to say this though, because having a relationship with Bishop is very important as well, because there were some other money sins I had in my life. And a money sin, you can be doing everything you need to be doing, and it just seemed like it still ain't working. There was some thinking around money that I had to change, just some conversations with him, that I put those things into place as well.
So this is an opportunity to get a new start. The book, the Tarumah book, is in your app that you downloaded. I would have my whole board read it, the members of my church read it, because first of all, they'll start paying you correctly.
Yep.
Right? Because you're on salary at your church? No. See, people ain't doing nothing for you. Yeah, see? But once they start becoming connected to you, you'll become connected with them. I call out the members every day that do the Tarumah.
Amen.
Now, the people that do to the ministry, that gets us another special kind of blessing. But the Tarumah, I'm concerned about their welfare. And I know people here that makes below minimum wages. I know people that sometimes I may even call them and say, what's going on with you, Bishop? I'm on disability. This is all I have. How are you living? I give my tithes. I give my Tarumah to you. Did you get my $1 this week? Yeah, I got your $1.25 this week. I got your $2.50. How are you living? Well, the Lord blessed, and I'm staying over at this place here where I ain't been here for a year, and people have been nice to me, just let me stay here. That's all part of the Tarumah. And I pray for them. I said, God, touch them, they're taking care of your supervisor. Please do something else for them. And they'll look at me, and now they'll never have a complaint. My complaining saints are those that don't do the Tarumah faithfully. The people that give me $1 a week, $2 a week, $5 a week, never come to me saying, I need your prayer. The people that say, man, I got situations that's not working out. I got a lawsuit, this thing has been going on for years, Bishop, when money comes in, I'm going to be sitting in a big tithe. No, you're not. Because you haven't sent in the tithe of the small stuff that God did. You can't be trusted with $2,000. God, you're not going to win the case. If you win it, the money's going to go up. You're going to give a third to the lawyer as the first fruit. You give your first fruit in the wrong direction anyway. By the time we'll get it, you'll give us something and expect us to shout because you gave us $5,000 when it should have been $50,000. And I'm telling you, that is sitting right here in this room. And you know how I know that? Because the Lord spoke to me and said that Episcopal residence was supposed to be paid off by June of this year. It should have been just about paid in full now in January, and the people haven't budged. And I said, Lord, what is this about? He said, this is not about you. It's about their blessing and breakthrough. He says, I called the famine in the prophet's life so I can get bread on the widow's table.
Come on.
I said, well, maybe I should go after them about it. He says, no, Elijah didn't. He just made a request. It's up to the widow to respond. I know the money's sitting in here. Because God never, why would God just all of a sudden show me that there was a $50,000 seed? And the woman didn't have to get her checkbook ready. It was already written out. And I only made that announcement. She probably was trying to give it quietly. See, I only made that announcement because the Lord wanted us to know that when I give you figures, you're hearing accurately. But because the people are not moving, the people said it was a false prophecy. But it has nothing to do with your accuracy. It has to do with the disobedience of the people that are called to step into that zone. There's that something we're talking about her, she just won't. See, that's the spirit. See, that's what I'm saying. It's just some unusual stuff. So we're in a zone. This is like Mother Jeffries was saying, like she was there with the mystic there, and she did what she did with the water, and the ducks just started coming.
Yes.
She has a story to tell about the woman that she brought to the museum that was manifesting herbs out of the air. This is ancient mystery. This is science of God.
Yes.
Amen. And then she shared the story about she went and manifested some money out of the air. And this is stuff they're pulling out of it. Listen, this is the realm you operate from. I can't explain the Tarumah. All I know is that before Reverend Sharpton made any moves, he took a drive up to Tuxedo Park. And he says, what should I do about Mayor? I says, you won't win, but God's going to make your voice in the nation. Go run. Because you're going to get the attention of the city. He went and ran. He got ready to run for president. He says, what is the Lord saying? Looked up and told him what the Lord said. But told him before then, the first time he shared the testimony here, he shared it. I have a lot of celebrities that come to me. I don't tell you all who come. Some choose to remain anonymous. He's just one of the bold ones that get up and talk. He said, I said, God's going to wipe away this whole Tawana brawling situation away from you. And you're going to become a darling in media. Your whole image is going to change. The doors are going to open to you from media, television, and radio. All of that's the word of the Lord. And anytime I go to any of his events, I don't care how large the event, his staff see to it that I say, if I go on a march with him, he says, get the prophet on the front line. He just called my name. Just said, he owned the prophet.
Yes.
He tells a story of James Brown. He says James Brown would go to a seer regularly in Philadelphia. I don't know who this is. And he says James Brown went to this seer and says, I need to ask you about Reverend Sharpton. Does he need to come and meet with you so you can tell him something? And this is the story that came back to me from Reverend Sharpton. This is before James Brown passed. Because James Brown knew he was getting ready to leave. He says, I'm trying to look into the new year, but I can't see my life around the corner. There's a lot of your artists that were mystics that had the sustainability. They just didn't come to fame. They had to do work to get there, and there were people that were spiritual workers that made that happen. And when James Brown asked the seer, do I need to get shocked into you? The seer says no. He has one of the greatest seers in the nation that a man can ever have. When he told me that years ago, I was like, really? And this morning, he called Pastor Prophetess Deborah. Today is Prophetess Deborah's birthday. You know, people look at that in the media and say, you know, these people are using terms like prophet, prophetess.
Yes, yes,
and see, the question is, when you rise to fame, can you still form the word prophet or prophetess
that's good.
in your arena? Because watch this. You only got there because a prophet saw you there.
That's right.
But you may think it's your own doing. And then God, if God can't trust you to maintain that at that level, he'll let you taste it and see it and then snatch it.
That's good.
So this is some real stuff. I'm telling you, I've seen it. Don't get me to start. Because some of you don't realize how blessed you are. This is an opportunity. Amen. And like I told you before, if me and Pastor Deborah wanted to go and retire, it was just about us. We could live very comfortable again and never have to do anything. Just pass envelopes around and just do whatever. But we're talking about how do we move people into this biblical pattern of an overflow. So most of your pastors are thieves. They're robbing the temple. Right? Your activists don't know anything about tithing. Most of them don't give. It's not even on their record. Right? Most of your black leaders that are in places of leadership, and that's why they have to get on the titty of the government. To get themselves funded because they refuse to go to source. So all I'm trying to tell you, you got to get connected and hooked up by the Spirit and by the divine. If you do it this way, you won't lack God's supply. That's why Larry Reed said, listen, he's going through all kinds of lawsuits through clergy. I said, listen, you're going to come out of that. You're going to come out of, listen, I already done seen the end of that. You're going to come out. The IRS came after Sharpton. They were trying to take him around. I said, you watch God. And God keeps raising them up. Raising them up. I want to know, who is the seer that is seeing you up?
Come on. Thank you.
Amen. I trust that answers your question. Bless you.
Yes, Master Prophet, you said I have one of my accounts connected for the Zelle, and a couple is not. And so you said as of now, not to do Tarumah with the moderator, but through Pastor Deborah's Cash App.
Yeah, you can do it through Pastor Deborah's Cash App.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Because I sold my Tarumah yesterday, and I was talking to the moderator. I said, you know, I labeled it, and they said it wasn't labeled. And so I called him again today, because this was on yesterday after I talked with you, met with you. And I said, I got to get my Tarumah, you know, in and everything. And I asked the moderator today, real nicely. And I talked with him, and I said, he hasn't called my name. Does he have it?
Oh, that's because I didn't go on that site.
I understand. I said, probably I'll just, you know, make sure my Tarumah was in. I just wanted you to know, Master Prophet. I work at a local ministry too, but I know where my blessings flow.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right.